Today's project starts with a few end tables that you can pick up from your local Walmart or IKEA, and they're simple to put together. Just turn the end table upside down and screw those legs right in. It's very sturdy and very strong once you get it done. But what we need to do is put a wheel on the bottom to make this table mobile. So we got to get a drill bit. Get one that's the correct size, and you will drill at the bottom of the leg. What we need to do is drill all 4 legs just once right in the center. Just go ahead and get that through and clean it up. But the problem is we can't just stick those threaded wheels in there. So get a nut that will fit on the end of those threads, and we've got to glue it to the bottom of the leg. But we want to make sure we add a washer to give it some strength. So I grabbed a wood dowel just enough where the nut sticks right on it, and then I will grab the washer and stick that in there. What that does is allows both of those to stay together and allows them to glue. Stick it in the back of a piece of styrofoam, and you're going to do this for 4 different pairs. Once you get all of those in, they're going to hold up nice and easy. Now the next thing we need to do is we're going to use a 2-part epoxy. Mix only enough that you need at a time. You're going to use this whole container on this project. When you mix it together, it doesn't take more than about a minute, and you want to get it to a milky clear color. Now this is a little different than normal gluing. This epoxy is very strong once it dries, and it holds up in about 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to take the epoxy and put it around the edge of the bolt next to the washer. We don't want to get any on the threads. I know this seems a little different, but trust me, this is going to be very strong once it's done, and you're going to do it to all 4 of these. But while that's drying, let's mix up some more epoxy, and on the bottom of our table, turn it on its side, and we've got to glue a piece of strip of wood on the bottom. This is going to help put the bottom shelf on. Put the wood on, you can use some tape to hold it down, but just set it there, and once it dries in about 10 minutes, it's super strong. Once that epoxy gets mixed up again, go ahead and just put some around the hole on the bottom of the leg, and we're going to take that little invention we did with the washer and the nut and stick it right on there. Make sure it gets nice and secure. In about 10 minutes it's going to set up. That allows us now to screw the wheel into the bottom of the leg. The great thing about that is it's adjustable. You can screw it in and out to keep it from wobbling. Once you get all 4 of those done, take a look at those 2 pieces of wood we put for brackets. It rolls really nice. Again, if it's wobbly, just go ahead and adjust those wheels as necessary. Again, it's time to mix up some more epoxy. We've got to join these 2 tables together. Promise you that's great because we don't need a lot of screws or nails for this project. Just a bunch of epoxy glue. Once you get it all on there on all 4 corners, go ahead and stick the other table right on top. Now it's going to be a little slippery with this. If you need to use some tape to hold it in place on the sides, go ahead and do that. But make sure you get it adjusted, clean up any excess glue that you have, and go ahead and just let it sit there. Once it dries up in about 20 minutes, it's super strong and it's time to paint it. I went ahead with the gray color to help match the decor around our house. This first coat is basically just a base coat. It's not going to look the best, but once you get on there and you do the second coat, it's going to look really good. Now it's time for that bottom. Look at that color on the paint. It looks really good. But I went ahead and put these 3 boards in for the base, and they sit there really nice. It also gives some strength, but it's time to finish the top. I don't want to paint. I want to use some contact paper. Go ahead and peel off the first layer right there. Set it right on the edge, and you're going to put it in. Now, if you got a little plastic squeegee, use that to get any of the wrinkles or air bubbles out. Just go slow on this. The better you do, the better it's going to look. Now, if you get some wrinkles, don't worry. Take the squeegee, work towards you on this. That's going to get all those air bubbles and all those wrinkles out. Once you get it laid over, put the excess over the top, and that's not a problem. We'll just take a razor blade, put it right up against the edge, and cut it right off. The sharper the blade, the better it is. Now guess what? It's time to set this up. Look at that beautiful DIY kitchen island. It just turned out great. And the best part about it is it could be wheeled around. Paint turned out great, and I'll tell you what, my wife absolutely loved it and get a lot of our stuff off her countertop.
A utility cart from IKEA is a great value and a great piece for storage. How about we give this classic gem a fabulous makeover? Pick your favorite peel and stick wallpaper pattern and let's get to measuring. The top shelf of the IKEA cart has an open mesh middle. It's best not to cover this with wallpaper, but it is a great idea to use the footprint of the mesh for the other shelves. Measure and cut a piece of wallpaper that is the same size as the mesh insert. Peel back the corner of your measured wallpaper and the rest of the backing will peel off easily. Apply to the center of the two cart shelves, leaving a white border around the paper. This will mimic the border of the mesh shelf. Use a debit card or gift card to smooth out wrinkles by pressing against the paper and pushing wrinkles away. Sometimes you need to lift the wallpaper back up in order to get the layout you want and a smooth finish. But this is the beauty of working with peel and stick wallpaper. Now take the side panels, measure and cut wallpaper to fit around the panels and apply. Miter the corners just like you would for a gift package or a sewing project. If your wallpaper is not as wide as the long side panel, like mine, just cut a smaller piece of wallpaper, match up the pattern, and splice it onto the panel. Follow this process for wallpapering each side piece of the cart shelves, as well as the connector pieces. Looking at your wallpaper color and pattern, pull an accent color from the pattern and spray paint the two side rail handles in that color. Follow the instructions that IKEA provides in the box and assemble all of the pieces of the cart. Remember those spots that you marked? Poke a pen or screwdriver through the wallpaper and through the holes so that you can attach the pieces together with the screws. Pop on the wheels and you are ready to roll. Style this IKEA cart as a bar cart or a beverage cart with wine glasses and bottles. Or use it as a side table complete with a lamp, books, and plants. I hope this inspired you to give the classic IKEA utility cart a stylish makeover using peel and stick wallpaper.
I needed an IKEA lac table for today's project, and I knew exactly where to find one on my local marketplace. First thing I'm going to do is to paint the whole table with some ivory coloured paint. I have given the table 2 coats and now I'm going to leave it to dry. To stick my table runner down, I'm going to use some gloss gel medium. So I'm going to be quite liberal with my glue, and I've cut my table runner larger than the width, and also I have a lip on this table, so I'm going to stick it over the lip here and also underneath it so that I have a nice clean edge. But first I'm going to stick it to the top and then I'll deal with the lip part afterwards. And then place this over it. And it'll probably take an hour to dry. So I'm going to leave that and then I'll come back and I will glue the sides and underneath. So I discovered that it's best if you've got a tiny vertical surface like this, put your medium down, let it tack up a bit until it's quite sticky, and then it's so much easier to attach this. This is just on a very small surface like this. If you've got a large surface, it will stick okay. So I'll let that dry and then I'll use the same technique to go underneath, and then I'll show you how I'm going to join in the top bit. So now I'm going to join in my other bit. I've laid down some of the gel medium, and because this is such a random pattern, as I said, it's just a matter of lining it up and it will look quite seamless when it's all dry. Smooth it down and then I'll leave that to dry, and then I'll do the sides. And when it's all done, I'm actually going to do a coat of the gel medium over the whole thing, just to give it a bit of a seal. I've also cut a piece and I'm sticking it on here on these little side panels. And again, when it's dry, I will do the underneath part. And here's my finished table. I've put it outside to get the last sun of the day so that you can see just how much it's glinting in the sunshine. It looks like I've very cleverly applied gold leaf to this tabletop, but in fact all I did was lay down 2 sheets of a table runner. So many different applications for this. You could use it on drawer fronts and also in mixed media artwork.
Next time you're at IKEA, shop for 2 Rodalm picture frames. While there, pick up 2 of the same type of frame in the smaller size as well. Take one of the large frames and decide on some artwork for it. It could be a piece of actual wall art or a piece of craft paper that you like. I chose a scrap piece of wallpaper. Cut the paper to fit behind the frame's mat and attach it to the back of the mat with painter's tape. Once the image is attached, reassemble the entire frame. Remove all the pieces from the second frame of the same size, so you are left with only the frame itself. Now stack the 2 frames on top of each other with the wall art facing out. Take 2 small hinges and align them on the side of the 2 stacked frames. Take a drill and drill pilot holes in the holes of the hinges on one of the frames. Attach the hinge with a screw and screwdriver. Restack the frames and realign the hinges. Drill pilot holes on the other frame and connect the frames by screwing in the screws. Now take a small L bracket and line it up with the top underside of the bottom empty frame. Again, drill a pilot hole and then attach the L bracket with a screwdriver. Hang the frame box on the wall using the L bracket. Open the front frame and attach clear adhesive hooks to the wall behind the empty frame. From these hooks, You can hang keys, small tools, or even decorative objects you want to keep safe. No one will know that you have secret organization behind your framed art. Let's do this on a smaller scale with Rodome frames of a different, smaller size. First, choose something that you want to frame. If you can't think of anything, how about some holiday wrapping paper? Affix the paper to the back of the mat with painter's tape and reassemble the frame. Empty the other frame and stack the frames on top of each other. Connect the two with hinges by drilling pilot holes and screwing them together by the hinges. No need for an L bracket here. Simply hang the framed paper to your front door window with a clear adhesive hook, and then hang a little surprise from another hook. This is the perfect place for a special key for Santa Claus when you don't have a chimney.